it take me to the end? Well, I don't know. But for one last time, I'll take this ride. Just drive. Wanna be the only one to make it to the light. Think you did it after right. Got it 1,000 times. Maybe I could be the one. Right to the setting sun tonight. Breathing out, I'm breathing in. Broken down, but I will live to fight again. For one last time, I'll take this ride. Just drive. Be the only one to make it to the light. Think you did it after right. Died 1,000 times. Maybe I could be the one. Right to the setting sun tonight. There's a star that lights the road. Will it take me to the end? Well, I don't know. I wanna be the only one to make it to the light. Think you did it after right. Died 1,000 times. Maybe I could be the one. Right to the setting sun tonight.
Welcome, 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 one and all, to another RPR Racing. So, in the chat already, we already have Rob Sim Racer giving us a weather update of surprise, surprise, dry race all the way. So, we have already got a few people on track, and leading the way is Al Jadifa. Now, bear with me while I drop this noise a little bit. There we go. Just kind of bouncing out in my ears. So, Al Jadifa in the AlphaTauri leading the way. I will go into the standings shortly, but let's have a little rundown of these drivers and what we know of them already. So, Scotty Harris. Well, we've seen Scotty Harris with myself in various different leagues, and he has not been someone who is shy of a podium or two. And Nels for me is a newest driver. I've seen him once or twice before. Same as Daniel D is quite new. GGC, haven't seen him drive for a while. Arjadif, a driver that I have seen quite on a few occasions. Johnny Stokes, or as Curly said, Johnny Strokes, another formidable driver. And we got Speedy number 25, or aka DXD Sausage, because we all know he loves a bit of sausage. Again, another driver that hits podiums. Almighty Evan, again, a reasonable driver that we are expecting some close battles from the grid top to bottom. DRT Nikala, new driver for me to observe. And we've got Rob Sim Racer. He's a commentator for TTFL Tier 1 that I do join from time to time. But I like watching him race. I think he's a better racer than he is commentator. DXT Moyland. DXT Moyland has had a roller coaster of a game, I'm going to call it a say. So it's been up and down with him. So some races he's good, and some races he's just not up to scratch. GR Lattis, a driver that we do, and Booker Bronco. I'm going to put these together. Two drivers that I have seen bits of, but I need to see more of. Dutch Face, one of my favourite drivers, just because I like his name. Again, a driver that is not afraid to get into the podiums. Arest, if I remember rightly, he has got some wicked pace, but does make some mistakes. DXT, James Al, a great driver to have on the grid, and someone who will put it up there, a 130.4. Now, I did take have a quick go before coming onto comms earlier, and I did hit a 130.1. So I'll be up there personally, but I think that's just me putting myself in a good position, and that was with a fixed setup as well. So I'm going to compare a lot of these drivers to my ability because I just had through it on a spin before. Avi, a driver that I've seen do really well. Have some fantastic pace, does make mistakes though. And El Stefano, great to see El Stefano back on the grid, so one shape or form. El Stefano and myself have got one thing in common: we're both field hockey keepers. Although I'm a little bit unorthodox, and he is a Class A standard, so he sticks a banker lap over 152. But we all know that's got to go better. So Scotty Harris puts a 130.0. He would definitely smash it, and Dixon Whalen with 129.2. So these are the speeds that we are expecting from our drivers. So with myself, I am a slowish driver, so I should be sitting at the back. So all these drivers here, let's go Rob Sim Racer, LGD Fair, GGC, Almighty Evan, and El Stefano, obviously with that lap, I think he would have brought that right down. We need to see them being taking seconds off their time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to jump on board with Speedy, and what we're going to do, let's jump on board with him as he spins on the last corner. Oh, I cursed it. Alright, so we won't be jumping on board with Speedy. So, Johnny Stokes, now you can hear the engine roar. Now my volume might be a little bit up and down. If it is, guys, just let me know and I'll try and alter it as much as possible. So, as you can see, he's done a purple sector 1. Through sector 2, he coming around this corner, turn 8. It is the one of the slowest corners of, I think turn 1 is the slowest and turn 8 is the second slowest. Turn 10 being the third slowest because of the way you come into it. Now that it gets you onto the third DRS. Now the third DRS is a short DRS. I would have expected it, would have put it in section 3, but they used to have 4 DRS zones when they first planned it, but they thought that was a bit too many. So they took one away, a bit like what they did with Monaco, taking one away. And there we go, round the death corner of turns 12 and 13. Heading now on to 14, 15. Nice it does. You don't actually hit the apex on a couple of the corners. And I see a yellow sector 3. It's a car probably spun out at Joe Stokes for 129. 129.9 puts himself in P3 provisionally for Q. What? I do believe it is Q1, Q2, Q3. Oh, yeah, it is. I haven't done this for a while, guys, so I do apologise. So Monza was the last race, and Monza, as we all know, is an epic circuit to be part of. Let's jump on board with Avi and let's see how Avi does. Daniel D gets a 128.7, take it up to P1 provisionally. Now, as we can see, there is actually quite a tight battle at the top. So we have Johnny Stokes currently in at the top of the championship in the Alfa Romeo with 102 points. 3 points behind it is the Extreme Moyland in the Mercedes. And then we'll trickle down 20 more points, and we've got Daniel D in the Red Bull. Now JR Lattis in the McLaren is on 72, and Avi in 5th in the Ferrari is on 61. So top 5 positions with 5 different teams. Scotty Harris takes 6th with the Alfa Romeo on 51 points. DRT Licala in the Haas with 36. James Howe in the Alpine on 30. And we got RPR Chubb in McLaren on 23. Speedy in the Red Bull on 20. We got Dutch and Dutch Race in the Alpine on 17. We have Robson Mesa in the Williams on 11. DXCK Fraud, which I believe that is Mrs. Carr. To be confirmed. In the AlphaTauri with 10 points. We've got Nels in the Haas on 6. GGC in the Williams on 3. And Al Jadifa in the AlphaTauri on 3 points. So we've got a few people in the red zone. So that is El Stefano in the Mercedes on 2, Erez in the Ferrari on 1, and Hudso and Booker Bronco both in the Aston Martin. Is Booker Bronco in? Yeah, he is in the Aston Martin. Do we have other Aston Martin drivers? So we are missing a couple of drivers. So Booker Bronco and the ones both Aston Martins on 0 points. Let's have a look. So what that means for the driver standing. So we got the Alfa Romeo on 153, Mercedes sitting in second with 120, which is actually obviously the previous drivers for Mercedes has left a few points there for them because the El Stefano's and Moylan's points do not add up to 120. Then we got McLaren on 95, Haas on 69, Ferrari on 62, Red Bull on 50, Alpine on 47, Aston Martin is on 25, so replacement drivers obviously they jumped in there. Williams on 16 and the AlphaTauri on 13. So we got Titanation saying 0-0 Wing Meta. So I don't think. See, I personally would have a little bit of downforce on the nose, just to get me round some of the sharper corners, but it is quite a fast circuit. If you you hook it up from turn 4 right down to turn 8. If you can hook that up nicely, you are in for a good lap. It's the only section that people will struggle at. You will notice these are the similar curves as you would see for in part of USA or a shallow version of Maggots and Beckett's, as it is. GGC going quite wide down that corner on his lap. Errors heading into the pit. We've got Almighty Evan who's sliding around that corner. Really did lose it for the S-bends there. And now those rear tires will be lit up. They will be glowing. And it will just mean that he just has to take a little bit of extra care, try and bring those temperatures down. The only way you can actually bring those temperatures down quickly is by stopping dead. But obviously that would then put yourself in such a bad precarious position. As you can see, it's really all over the place. When those tyres heat up, they are supposed to be not normally when you heat the tyre up, it turns a bit tacky, a bit like glue. But if you heat up too much, it then becomes like wax, and wax is slippy. And that's what he's going to go through right now. He's going to have waxy tyres right now, and they're not in any good position to be going around for a lap. But he's going to go for it. He's going to go for it. So, Almighty Evan, he does need to. Now, we have got yellow sector 1 and sector 2, and that does disrupt me seeing that clock. He's got 3 minutes left. He knew he would not be able to probably get in and out of that pit in time. And he threw it in that corner, slipped those back tyres. You can hear the scratching, those tyres going around that corner. We're seeing someone who's on the cusp of desperation right now. He is locking up into every single corner, trying to get the most he can. And he's just making mistakes left, right and centre. He hits that apex nicely. He's missed that one, but he's held it in. Let's see how he takes turn 8. Nicely done, but he did use all the track. He could have used a bit more track and carried a bit more speed through there, stays away from that curve, and he doesn't even use the full width of the circuit. Really making mistakes here, Almighty Evan. And it's not something that you want to be seeing at this stage of Q1, especially when you're trying to get into Q2. Now, turn 11 there, nicely done. Touching, go round turn 12. Here we go. Stays off the curve, which is nice, but doesn't go close enough. Round turn 13, let's see how he does it. He does take a bit of time off, but is it going to be enough to actually put himself in that position to be put in arrows out? He's totally messed up that corner there. Really goes wide. This is not his lap. He's improved himself to P14 for now. But we do have El Stefano. Everett's on an outlet right now. He's going to cross over in time. And Booker Bronco. We don't know how these guys are going to pull. But Booker Bronco really needs to pull in their lap here. Because we've got Nellis who's dropped off. So eyes are on Erez, El Stefano, and Booker Bronco. Because just 2 of these need to get a little bit quicker than that 1:31.3. And it seems, I think Booker Bronco might have been held up there by Al Jadifa. Now, Al Jadifa could have actually been given Almighty Evan, his teammate, a lifeline there by just disrupting now the Booker Bronco. He's got enough time. He can get himself around. Right. The Booker Bronco, Erez, El Stefano. So El Stefano, what we've seen from him, he's got to push this out. Now this is the last time. Anybody crossing over the line now, this is your last chance to make an impact for these positions. Now everybody above El Jadifa is still in the pit, apart from DRT Licala, probably believing that they are safe. Now let's see how Erez does. Now Erez is someone I do believe can compete for podiums, so he should be a lot higher than where he is now. He does stick it in P13 for now. So Almighty Evan is now on the cusp. Now we just got El Stefano or Booker Bronco. One of those 2 drivers needs to get in front of Almighty Evan. So I do apologise for that. I just had a bit of a bracket outside and just making sure no one's trying to break in. So El Stefano now, does he have enough in him to knock Almighty Evan out? Oh, lucky there, he almost invalidated that lap. But it's not enough. It's not enough. He lost then the last sector, I believe. And Booker Bronco just seems to be having a hash right now of a circuit right now. I'm not too sure what's going on, but he is not going to be able to improve on his time whatsoever. It does mean that Almighty Evan has somehow got through Q1. And it's a surprise that he's got through Q1. It's kind of unfortunate El Stefano is out of Q1. Q1. So we are going to be saying goodbye to El Stefano, Neles, and Booker Bronco. That is unfortunate because the guy in 15th, almighty Evan, probably one of his worst laps he could have ever done, has managed to get himself through into Q2. Now you can tell anybody can tell him this, but that was one lucky qualifying session that he had there. Carried quite a bit of pace, but he should have actually done better. So currently at the fastest time in Q1 right now is a 128.7 with Daniel D in the Red Bull. Now with JR Lattis on a 128.7, so close, just 500ths away from Daniel. So we are expecting to see a battle there. I've got DNT Licala with a 129.2, Moylan a 129.2. Very close between them two again. But then I know Moylan has took it easy in Q1. He is waiting until he needs to put in all the effort and all the extra speed that he can put in muster from that car when he needs to. Avi, same again. Johnny Stokes and Scotty Harris again. Those same. Dutch Face, James Owl. These are the drivers that I am expecting to be better than what they are doing right now in Q1. But then we've got to expect that because Q1 is about clearing up the gumph. You get rid of it's like skimming your soup if you leave it a bit too long. You get rid of the skin, get rid of the stuff that you don't want. Oh well, when I say don't want, stuff that's not going to make an impact to P1, P2, P3. So that's what Q1's about. Just get rid of the dregs. I do apologise for anybody who did get knocked out of Q1, but that is exactly what Q1's all about. Q2 used to be all about strategy. Now with the new regulations, it's not. It's a new phase of clearing up the crap. The problem we've got here is that these drivers here should be making better steps. Now I'm expecting Almighty Evan to get into Q3 if he doesn't light up his tyres, because what he pulled out of with that car when the tyres were ruined was a miracle. If you could do it with proper tyres when they are at the perfect temperatures, I think he is battling for the front of the mid-pack at least. Now guys, if you are just joining me, please drop a message, let me know what you're thinking, who you think your top three are, what you think of the season so far, because we are near the middle of that season, or any random questions, whether it's F1 related or random ones that I have been getting through other streams. Just drop them in, have a little chat. It's good to have a little bit of a rapport from the spectators and the drivers. If you can get drivers a point of view of what they think's going on, or who they believe I should be keeping my eye on, that'll be a good point. Because some of these drivers will be the ones that I need. There's so many drivers to keep an eye on, and some of these drivers I've never seen before, so I don't know if I should be keeping an eye on or should I be focusing on the drivers I do already know about. So currently at the moment, there's quite a few drivers out on an out lap. With only 15 minutes. With only 15 minutes and 13 minutes left to go, timing is essential. You can get 3 decent runs. Let's call it, because you can get 3 runs in Q3 if you're quick enough, but you're not going to get your tyres up to perfect standards. Q2 has this opportunity where drivers can do a full attempt at a out lap, a bank lap, and a fast lap. Because your bank lap is something that you can fall back on should people end up DNFing in qualifying. Then you've got a bank lap just in case you don't get enough time at the end to make a fast lap, or if you make a mistake on your fast lap, you've got bank lap. So you throw in a banker lap, that will warm your tyres up a bit more from what your out lap would have, and then you do your fast lap. And that fast lap then, because you're drawing out your fuel, you will be a bit lighter than the previous lap, your tyres will be at a better temperature than the previous lap, and you feel a bit more comfortable because you've already done a faster lap. so you know where you can push a little bit more. And that's what the Q2 is able, you're able to do, that because there's less drivers on the circuit at any one time, and you still get a reasonable amount of time to put in the effort. So let's have a little look. So we've got Scotty Habs on and out. We've got Daniel in the pits, GGC, and James out with 136. Who else have we got? Al Jadifa puts a 130.666. Very nice time. Who else is coming around? Touch him at Dutch face. You know what? I've not done this. Touch him at Dutch face. Bank a lap. Now fast lap. Erez. Now here we go. This is a time that I was expecting Erez to put in before. He's got to get himself there in a little bit quicker time, and I know he can take a bit more time off that. So James out with a bank a lap. Touch him at Dutch face with a bank a lap. Moylan, how's Moylan doing? Let's see how he takes on. So nice and clear from turn 9, but uses as much track as he could. He could use it a little bit more, but that's nice. Ricardo with a 129.0 gets himself into that early on, so under 13. And we've got Alex Boniface, aka DXC Nevo, jumping in saying evening Alex, happy birthday for the other day, bro. I didn't drop a message in, but I thought I'll say it now. It's good that you joined us as we are watching DXC Moylan's rounding off this lap. I do believe this would be a bit of his banker lap because I've seen him do a lot quicker. Still a 130.2 puts a nice steady pace, and he's dropping down a bit. He's not going as fast as he could. So I think he's winding in. He has used a lot of his ERS. So Nevo has asked the question, how's the Drivers' Championship looking here? Well, it's actually, the top 3 are quite close together. We've got Jolly Stokes with 102, and then Moyland on 99, so those 2 drivers are quite close, and then we've got Daniel D, who's 20 points behind. So really Daniel D could leapfrog both of them if he gets a good finish here. Right top to bottom really it is quite close in patches. The midfield battle is a lot closer, and Johnny Stokes just runs right off there after getting a little quick lap of 129.3. Let's have a look. Daniel D. So we're going to jump on Daniel D. He's on an out lap right now. We're going to watch how he does this. Right now he will be the driver I'm expecting to be set on P1 after his exploits in Q1. Absolutely quick time, and he's put the effort in, and we're seeing that the fact that he is always up there when it comes down to qualifying time. So he's thereabouts at the top end. There's no bank collapse for him. They're all quite quick, and so you can see him really grounding that car even on this out lap. So as we see, he is heading around this corner quite nicely. I do understand the vehicle noise might be a little bit loud. He's backed off. Why is that? Because he wants a great exit. He's winding in the entry to maximise the exit. Let's see. I was going to stay on board with him. Let's chop all this away. And let's bring it. Let's leave this time up there. So let's see. Turn 1 nicely done. Let's how he follows turn 2 right across that curve. Rocks on the turn 3 round. It goes. Bang! Hits on that DRS. He is straddling this line all the way up to turn 4, using as much of the track as he possibly could. Now, a little bit of a wiggle there on the exit of turn 4, around turn 5, turn 6. Heading into turn 7, and a little bit of wiggle there between 6 and 7. Into weight, let's see how he does. Hits that apex nicely. Uses as much track as he could. We've not seen a lot of drivers doing that. Let's see how he tackles turn 9. misses it completely, perfectly done. Over turn to turn 10. Could have used a bit more track for turn 10, could have carried a bit more pace, but let's see how he balances that out coming into turn 11. Over the curve again, right across, follows right through, touch on the outside, cross on the inside, ready for turn 12. Around he goes, brave enough to touch the curve on turn 12, a lot of drivers are not. Around turn 13, slows down a little bit, over the curve on turn 13, pushes it out, and now he wants to be on the track. He doesn't want to be shot on lap line too soon, because it does wear your tyres thin. Here we cross, here we go. Runs that track as wide, runs that car as wide as he can, and puts a 1:28.3 fastest lap so far, and a great time indeed. Now that there's a little tweaks he could be doing to take off hundredths. I mean, it's going to be hundredths. It's not going to be tenths or seconds. It's only hundredths. There's fine tuning, little moments like the approach to turn 4. He goes across this white line a bit too soon. Those little tweaks, little slides, he's had to tweak the steering wheel a bit. If he eradicated that before the turn into tweaks, it'd be much smoother, and he'd be taking tenths off those. But in general, it's only little tweaks for hundredths. What a fantastic lap from Daniel D. So if he can bring his qualifying pace into a race pace, which I'll be honest, a lot of drivers can't, then we could be expecting to see someone who's just going to fly ahead. Because right now he is 7 tenths in front. Oh, okay, JR Lattis has answered back with a 1:28.288, exactly 1 tenth in front of Daniel. So those little tweaks that Daniel had, he needs to fix them up to get P1 in Q3. Because right now it is all about the drivers down here at the bottom. So Avi, GGC both still need to put in a time. James Allen with that banker 136 needs to get back out there and try again. Almighty Evan with a 132.3. We know he can do better than that. He is lucky to be in Q2, so he better make the most of it. Rob Simvaser needs to pull his socks up. He is 1 tenth, exactly 1 tenth out of the top 10. Ajadiva holding that top 10 with a 1:30.666. That was the first lap put in on the track in Q2. We, as you should know, is like all the time, whatever the driver does on the first lap on the Q2, he can do better in the second lap in Q2, because that track's going to be rubbered up. It's going to be grippier. It's going to be stickier. He needs to make the most of it. Erez, a massive improvement from Q1. We are expecting more from him though, because we've got DHC Sausage as well. On a 1:30.5, all these drivers here could be knocked out in the bottom. Whether GGC and Avi can put in a good time, it will have a knock-on effect down to the rest of them. I think for you to be really safe, you need to be hitting below 1:30. Because anybody from 7th right down could be knocked out by these drivers down below, such as Rob Simvaser, who I do believe can take off a second off that time if he really put his mind to it, because he's missed the little points that he's not getting. He needs to use the full track, needs to hit those apexes perfectly, needs to believe in his ability and get himself stuck in. A great driver, yes he is, I am not going to take that away from him, but fine-tuning his line will be what he needs to do. See, as you see there, absolutely perfect around 10-12 there, really using the whole wave, and 10-13. That's what he needs to be doing throughout the whole circuit. Maybe the number 13 is really not his number, or it might be just the fact it's the Williams who's driving, and we all know what that's like. So not a lot of drivers on track. So Rob Simvaser is on track. Evan Almighty Evan, Evan Almighty. We're talking about a film here. Might expect him to go build an arc somewhere. So Almighty Evan really, really needs to show what he can do, because with the luck he had in Q1 to scrape into Q2, he needs to make the most of it and needs to prove me wrong. Because right now, I just think he's a lucky driver on Bahrain. Put in a good lap, Evan, and prove me wrong, bro. Now DXD James Owl. he is one of these drivers. He's a mature driver, let's call him that, because he would rather keep his car on track than risk putting his nose into someone else's business. So he doesn't get caught up in a lot of incidents, but maybe he needs to take those risks a little bit more when it's on track to really cut himself in. So we've had JR Latters, Daniel, and DRT Lecala all retire from their session. As Avi does take a 129.1, I knew he could do it. I knew he would be up there. What that's done is that this has dropped, and GGC stuck it in P11. So right now, Erez is sitting on P10. And with these last few moments, we've got Erez, GGC, Altifa, Robson Racer, Evan, Almighty Evan, and James are all heading out of Q2. We have got 36 seconds left of this qualifying session, and as Robson Racer heading into pits, which means he will no longer take no further part in qualifying. And James Al needs to bring a whole lap together. Can he save face for the Alpine team? Because Dutch Race has done fairly well. He needs to get himself back in there closer to his teammates. Almighty Evan really should be thinking about what he can do to improve his laps, because he really needs to pull something out of the bag here. Arjadifa, his teammate. I honestly think his little debacle in Q1 may have helped Almighty Evan through to Q2, but we'll leave that to the stewards if it does get reported. GGC invalidates that lap. He will not be going through to Q2, but he's put a hell of a time in there to steal P11 right now off the Al-Jadifa, who is coming around. Let's see, a jump. That's not jumping ball. That is a bit too loud. That engine is very loud. It swings around the last 2 corners. Here we go. A little bit of a squiggle. That's a 130.2. A fantastic lap from Al Jadifa. And he just knocks Erez into P11. So DXD Sausage really needs to think about his lap right now. Oh no, he's not going to be able to do anything with that lap. He is out of there. He's now out of it because James Hour has put in a 130.3. So we're saying goodbye to DXD Sausage right now. There is only one pet on Almighty Evan, finishing P15. He should have been able to put in a better time than what he did. I was expecting it, because for someone who could drive on slippy tyres the way he did, full tyres, he should have been doing better. So as we're winding this up, we are going to be saying goodbye to Speedy. This is the second time we've jumped the board on Speedy and he's spun the car. Right, so we are going to be saying goodbye to Speedy, Erez, GGC, Robson Mesa, and Almighty Evan. As we wait for Speedy to roll himself into the pits. If he ran across the line, it would have sped up the process a little bit quicker, but this is Speedy, he doesn't think of anybody else, does he? So, again, actually quite an exciting Q2. A lot of drivers are hitting that sub 130 time. And I'm expecting a lot more drivers to be hitting it as well. So, as you see, we are saying goodbye to Speedy, unfortunately, fella. You're going to be spending the next. You're going to be sending Q3 in your trailer, thinking what could have been. So, as we see, we can see that JR Lattis, Daniel, DRT, Avi, Johnny Stokes, Scotty Harris, and Dutchman Dussays, all with a sub 130. Ajadifa Moyland and James Howell with a 132 and 132, 130.2 and 130.3 respectively, all rounded off the top 10. Speedy, RS, GJC, Robson Racer, Almighty Evan out of Q2. This is what we're going to be expecting from a lot of the drivers. As you can see, the drivers who are competing for the top spots in the championship are the ones sitting 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's forget about Moylan right now because he's only putting a one lap just to keep himself in. But I do reckon at the end of Q3, he'll be up there battling for this front row. Now, 12 minutes in Q3. 12 minutes is not a lot of time. So, we've got Daniel D diving out of the pit already. He's not the first car though, because I think it might have been DRT Lecala. Telemetry on, lap data on, because that's what we want to see. There we are. Got to the camera angle. So here we go. You know what? Actually, I want to have a little look. So as I expected, everybody on soft tires. It's simple. It's easy. It's what it is expected. We want it's soft tires all the way. If you qualify, Mark. Here is my issue. So here's my issue. So here's my issue when it comes down to the new format. Q2 is not as interesting as it was before. You're still not thinking of the race. Whereas beforehand, drivers were deliberating whether they go for the chance it on a harder compound for the better start tyre, or whether they go for the soft tyre and get through into Q3. And it just seems that the FIA, in their infinite wisdom, thinks that, you know what, with this new format, we need to go back to basics with qualifying. Luckily they haven't gone back to the original qualifying session method, because that would be boring. As you see, there is a car really wide, and I think that is Daniel D. So we are on without DRT at the moment. We are looking to see how he does being the first driver out. He missed 10-10 apex. It is a critical apex. It is a late apex, but it's a critical one. Because it's such a slow corner and it's followed by a long straight, you need to get the maximum speed out of that exit. It's not like it was 10-1. But it is slow one to get your full rotation in, but you've got another corner after that, so you don't have to really worry. You're more worried about getting yourself in the right position, ready for the next turn. Turn 8, also a slow corner. You're looking for the right exit, and if you're missing the apex on 10-10, there you go, a 128.9. Great time. But fine tune that time now, because he's done better than that before. So Johnny Stokes on 129.1. We've got Avi on a 129.1. Scotty Harris 129.2. James L 130.6. We've got Moylan 129.1. This is the times that we are expected from our drivers. So Johnny Stokes and Dixon Moylan, they're so close. They're so close in the championship, they're so close in qualifying. We have a couple of drivers who are right now quicker. So Daniel D, JR Lattis, right now DRT there, Lecala. These drivers should be competing for the top of the championship. For whatever reason, whether they joined late or maybe they missed a few races, they are not there. And so it is, there you go, JR Lattis on a 1:28.0. We could be seeing a 1:28.7 somewhere. But right now, if I was here, if I was competing with the last pace I did, fast lap I did, I got a 1:30.1. So I'll be sitting P8. Now I know every single one of these drivers here can get sub 1:30, so I am nowhere near that kind of pace. Now, we will be jumping on board with Daniel D in a moment because, again, I want to see him see if he can beat JR Lattis' time. So JR Lattis is the guy that we're going to be watching on his second run out in Q3. Because it is quite important that you make sure you take all the opportunities you can in Q3. So Moylan heads into the pits. Let's see how Dutch Face does. So we need to kind of understand where the markers are for these guys, because he's 5 seconds out. He's rolling into the pits. Now let's have a look. Again with Daniel. So he slows down a lot more. To make sure he basically slows down right down to make sure he gets the angle right on for the exit of turn 14-15. Here we go, right onto that white line, brakes harsh, rotates in, 50 miles an hour, it's about the pace that you want to be going around that corner, heading up. Now this driver in front of him better realise that he needs to get right out of the way here. And Daniel had to avoid that lap. Again, see this is what happens. So who is that? It's Avi. So Avi's a lack of track awareness has actually hampered Daniel D's lap. So in he comes. He's going to have to get go in there, get a fresh set of rubber, and get himself back out again. But he's going to come out at the wrong time. So with Dutch faces on that lap, Harvey now on a fast lap. A little bit twitchy in the middle of a S-bend there, but he holds well. Uses whole track, which is the very right thing to do. Away from turn 9, ready for oh, he proper went out there. Outbroke himself there and went off. That's him now, ruined that lap. So best thing for him to do right now is run that engine down, get your ERS back up. Yeah, right now I'd pull over to the right. Daniel D now on and out lap. The thing is that now he's got 2 minutes to do a good warm up lap, and we will jump on board with him in a moment. We've got JR Lattis now who's coming out, as well as Moylan's. Moylan is out. That's what. Moylan's put 1:28.4. A good lap time, really. Judgment does face were 1:28.7. Very nicely done. Avi and Argentina doing like a basic one-shot, one-lap shootout. I'm going to stay on board with Daniel because he is the driver that I'm expecting to be. Oh, he's outbroke himself on there, I think. So I think the pressure's got to her there. Even though the line was absolutely fantastic, he broke a bit too harshly there, which could have cooked his tyres a bit. I'm not expecting it to be to be an amazing lap for him right now. I am still expecting him to be up in the low 128s, but maybe not as high as Algid if he gets a 130.4, which is a nice time for himself. A 127.9, even though he made that mistake on Q1 on P turn 1. What a lap! What can we expect as retaliation from JR Lattis? A 1:27.985. Now, that has just shown me one thing. Even though Daniel D messed up turn 1, which then ruined his turn 2 and turn 3 and possibly the entry speed onto turn 4, he still managed to get a 1:27.9. Now, like I said, he made a low 1:28 in Q2, and we watched it, and there was little tweaks and that you could be getting better on, which they were better. They were a lot better on that run, but he made another mistake and still got such a great time. My expectation is that if he managed to get that turn 1 done sussed, he might be a 1:27.5, because that took a lot out of him. Now we've got Daniel P1, we've got JR Lattis in P2, and then it is Moyland Dutch Face in 3 and 4. Lecala in 5, Johnny Stokes in 6, we've got Alfie in 7th, Scotty Harris in 8th, we've got Dixie James Hill in 9th, and Al-Jadifa in 10th, which just means that it is the order that I kind of would have expected it, roughly, as in with drivers I know. When it comes to the top 10 anyway. I don't think Speedy should be as low as he was. But then, that's racing for you. So we've got a nice view of the pits as we run the time down. 9 seconds to go. Drivers thinking about their last minute preps of tyre strategy. That is what they call it. The next part is tyre strategy and fuel load. Now, you can save a lot of fuel.
The formation lap gets underway then, and it's going to be interesting today to see how the dry conditions can affect the lifespan of
the formation lap: medium, 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 hard, soft, hard, medium, 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 all the way to the end. So, our soft dry Ari on softs, we've got. Show the tyre strategy of one soft and medium to hard, standard. Soft, medium, hard. Actually, that there is wrong. I will tell you straight, it is a soft, medium, medium, not a soft, medium, hard. And I will tell you another thing for free. A soft, medium, medium is just as quick as a soft, medium, hard if you can't get the hard tyres up to temperature. If you're struggling to get those temperatures up in the hard tyres, stick to the mediums. So here we go. We are waiting for the lights. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. They're out, and away we go. So we've got JR Lattis who's going to slide into the back of Daniel D. But let's see how he does. As we've got Moylan who's dived. He dived in there, forcing Daniel D wide. What that's done is it's just made Daniel D having to battle with Moylan for P2. Now, so it is side by side for Moylan and Daniel D, which is very fair battling. I think Moylan's backed off a little bit there to give Daniel the way forward when it comes down to the S-Bends. It is a bit tricky to go side by side through those S-Bends, so Moylan plays the smart game going up. He is just slightly ahead of me. Alex Ulzinger saying good luck all. So good luck to all drivers, obviously. Yes, it is. So here we go, as we're halfway through the first lap, let's have a quick run into what's going on. Let's position change as well. So JL Lattis has moved up into P1, Daniel D in P2, Moylan stays in P3 with Dutch Stays in P4, Johnny Stokes up 1 place in P5 with DRT Lecala down 1, Avi still in P7, we've got James L up into P8, Speedy up into P9, Al-Jadifa staying in 10th, we've got Erez in P11, El Stefano up 4 places, fantastic move there from El Stefano. In P12, Scotty Harris has dropped down into P13, luckily no damage. And Robson Mason into P14 where he started. GTC down 2 places in P15. Neles up 1 place in 16th. Evan is in 17th with Booker Bronco. Not having the greatest start, but still there. Hopefully be able to bring that time down now that he's on. He's got a huge amount of gap in front of him. He might be able to crawl in and catch up with the drivers in front. El Stefano has had a bit of a spin. Was it a tag? He's got no. He's got no visual damage. And Booker Bronco has just took over him because El Stefano was trying to catch up his speed. Pardon me. So a few people have had a bit of a spin. So let's have a look. Let's go near the front again. Let's have a look with it. What's going on here? So we've got JL Lattis still in the lead. He's got 8 temps in front of Daniel, who's got just over a second in front of Moylan, who has got almost 2 seconds in front of Dutch. So the top 3 are starting to run away with it, but Moylan's losing a bit of a gap. And then we got Big Salty Seawater. I do love this guy. Would you rather never watch a film again or never listen to music again? Ooh, that's tough. You know what? I say never watch a film again. It's just too. That's a tough. That's like that's a really tough question. But music, you listen to music any time. Music. It doesn't matter what kind of music. I prefer music over films. Just. Whereas like films do take up a whole 2 hours, and it's just like if you got 2 hours to kill, you stick a film on. It's great, but there's got a lot of TV series out there that could take over a film. So now this is what we like. If you look at this, it's from Dutchman Dutch Face, and then Speedy as well. They are starting to open up, but we've got lots of close battles here. Like TGC, he's got a nice run of all these drivers in front of him. It's all DRS training. Oh! So, Evans spun. Then Scotty Harris collected them a bit. How's Avi down here? How did Avi get... So I've missed Avi going down. Has he pitted? He has pitted. So he must have picked up some damage somewhere. Is that the pit? So let's run through the order dead quick, as we have lost a few drivers going up and down. So the top four are still the same top four, with Johnny Stokes still in P5 and DRT Callett in P6. We've got Speedy up 4 places now. So Speedy up where I was expecting him to be in qualifying. Ajadifa in P8. We got GGC up now into P9, Bob Simbation up into P10, getting the points. And Nellis with the most places gained in P11. Scotty Harris down 4 in P12. So he never lost or gained with that little accident, because he was already down there. Almighty Evan in P13 now. He's managed to gain a few places after that. James Al down into P14. El Stefano, P15. Avi, P16 after that pitting. Booker Bronco in P16 and Evers as well. So the 2 Ferrari drivers had to pit. And then we've got another question out there, which I do love again. Would you rather never have to eat or drink again, or never have to sleep again? Also, how are you doing? I'm doing great, bro. Yeah, things are going good, man. Yeah, so can't complain. Would I rather not? Oh, you know what? That's tough. Because I'll be honest, I say never have to sleep again. Because I do enjoy food. Some foods I really do enjoy, but then again, I do get bored of food in general at times. And sleep's a waste of time, really, but then I do love a good bit of sleep. I love a little nap every now and then, and like during like the days getting long. And we've got Speedy he's beached. Speedy is beached. Now we don't see this often, but Speedy has beached his car. Oh my goodness. So can he get any purpose from that whatsoever? The car is slightly sliding. Right. I will tell you straight. That was an auto reset. That was not that he didn't do that himself. As you can see, he was still driving. I don't believe that was him. I think you can still eat, drink, and sleep. You just don't have to. See, the thing is that Oh, then I'll say never eat or never have to eat or drink again. Because even though I'll still enjoy it and I can eat and drink, it means I don't have to worry about going to get food to sustain myself. But sleep, I love sleep more when I have to sleep. I can't. When I don't have to sleep, I don't enjoy it. So, as in, like, so if I'm feeling tired, I do love a sleep because it makes me feel good. But yeah, tough one, man. A lot to think about on that one. So we've not had much change going from the top six previously. So Argentina in P7, we've got GGC in P8, Robson Race in P9, very quite good. Nellis in P10, Scotty Harris starting to scramble his way back up now in P11 with James Out also doing the same. And as you can see, there is a bit of a battle going in front. Side by side in, Scotty Harris and Nellis. Scotty Harris with a better line through 10-10, but is it enough? He has got DRS, and that DRS is so strong. So strong. But Nellis is right back at him. Nellis had a better exit through turn 11. A better line in turn 12. Tries to push it in turn 13, but see that there because Nellis had to come off the accelerator there going through turn 12. And look at that! DXT James, we just caught that. That is going to be an absolutely fantastic overtake. I was suspect if that layer shape was a little bit longer, he would have had them both. Look at that, James. I'm really putting the pressure on Scotty Harris there for P10. Absolutely fantastic. It's great to see this. So it was a three-way battle for one moment. Now as they're just starting to lose the gap now. So James out all over the back of Scotty Harris. He's not going to make it happen here. Now turn 8. Heading out to turn 9 and 10. As you see, Nellis going really wide there. James out. See, this is what DRS. Look at that for DRS. That DRS is way too strong. Just absolutely bewilders me how strong that DRS really is. So things have all changed around now. So we've got Dutch Face who's pitted. Whether it was meant to be or whether it was damage, but he's he's closed into JR Letters, and we've got to have to keep focus on this one for a bit because with him closing in that much, we could be seeing, and the way the DRS has been quite strong lately, we could be seeing an overtake soon. Another question: be the best F2 driver, but never make it to F1. Or any other major motorsport, or be the worst ever F1 driver? Well, that one there is a good question. I'll be the worst ever F1 driver. And GGC is the first driver to pick up a penalty. Look at this, it's so close. When you see these respectful kind of driving, it's amazing. Yeah, I've been the worst F1 driver because if you're the best F2 driver, you can only win that championship once and then you're booted out. So you're never really the best driver. No one can ever be the best ever F2 driver. Because if they are, then it's, yeah, oh, well done, you've done one season, bye. You're gone. And then you've got nothing. And that's I've been the worst F1 driver because even the worst F1 drivers still went off and done other motorsports. And some of them done well in other ones. But so, yeah, that's quite an easy one for me. So, thanks for giving me an easy question for once. They're normally quite tough. So, this battle, Daniel D and JL Lattis, it's coming close, and then I think Daniel needs to time his attempt a little bit better. He's getting so close when it's hard to overtake. So he needs to kind of flip it over. So as you see, he's closed right in. He closes right up to turn 4. He'll be right up the back of the McLaren. So as you can see, he's coming around turn 3. DRS and P4 closing in. He can't make anything happen here, so he's going to have to go a little wide. Staying right close. He is as close as he can be to that car before hitting him. And then he starts to lose it for the S-bends. This is where JL Lattis makes that little bit of a jump ahead. And Neves is retired in the pits. And this battle seems to be drawn out a little bit now. The DRS doesn't seem so strong for the Red Bull right now. And again, it goes so close. So maybe because he's got a bit closer now, can he make the move happen before turn 4? I don't think so. I think he's just a little bit too far out. That line is so much nicer. And because JL Lattis made a mistake there, Daniel had to react to it, and now he's lost so much. He's going to have to build that back up again. It is a tight battle here. I'm going to have to switch it off though, because we've got things on elsewhere. As we've got GGC as Biggs. He's been disqualified for park, but even though his car is still going. Been disqualified from the session, but his car is still moving slowly. That's unfortunate. Oh! And Evan spun it. He's spun it. And he just has to watch the leaders go past them, Almighty Evan. So we managed to catch the spin. Now Evan he's catching up now. He's thinking, oh, you know what, I can get one place back. So not so many battles that we've got. So we've got El Stefano catching up with Dutchman Dutch Phase. Both Simracers watching Scotty Harris and Al Jadifa. DRT Licala closing in slowly to Johnny Six, or losing it to Johnny Six. Seemed a little bit squirrely there. The colour. And in the pits comes Daniel D. Now, I'm trying to work out which car it was that was. Says Almighty Evan has come into the pits and retired. Now, it is just like he's overtook. Yeah, this is going to be the funniest question I've had. Let's get up to. So the question is: go 8 rounds with Prime Mike Tyson once a year, or have Herbo slap you in the face every day? I think I'd rather take the slap of Herbo every year, because I'd probably get killed by Mike Tyson in his prime. He's just Prime Mike Tyson. What is the best? Muhammad Ali said it. There was no beating Mike Tyson in his prime. So it was like Robson Mason. Can he make the move on Al Jadifa in the next lap or two? It is going to be close. Right. I'm sorry to say this, Rob, but I think you made a mistake there. I'll be honest, that Williams car looks decent. Or has he? Because somehow Robson Racer has overtaken Al Jadifa in the pits. That is spectacular. Yeah. That is going to be. Oh. Robson Racer destroying the telephone sign. Not too sure what happened there. Whether he was losing it to Al Jadifa or there was a little bit of contact between them, but something happened there for Robson Racer to go right off track and destroy the sign. Question: watch every My Little Pony episode twice, or have the theme song stuck in your head forever? Let me watch it twice. I'll watch every episode twice rather than have that theme song stuck in my head. I've never heard it, never watched My Little Pony, but I don't think there'll be that many, and that won't take that much time in my life. So now Speedy, now with that mistake that Robson Racer has made with Al Jadifa right behind him, Speedy now is in for a shot now of getting the last points position, as Robson Racer's gone right off. I really don't think those hard tyres are working for him at all. Yeah, those tyres not working for him. So here we go. El Stefano! P12. Sure, you can do a lot better than that. Come on, El Stefano. Let's see some grizz for you, man. Dutch with Dutch phase. Really out of position. Not expecting to be down there, and same as Alves. So, currently at the moment, Johnny Stokes is holding P1. Now, this may be that play because Johnny Stokes is on the hard tyres. Speedy picks up a penalty. So, as you can see, these two drivers are very close indeed. Oh, Daniel D speeding in the pit lane, and he's retired in the pit. You know, for a driver as quick as he is, he's had some rotten luck. Okay, so there's 221 episodes of My Little Pony. How long do they last? How much of my life am I going to be losing watching 221 episodes of My Little Pony? So, with Daniel D retiring from the race, we've got a lot of drivers popped up a place or two. So, for some reason, Ari has moved right out of the way. Avi moved out of the way for Argentifa. Is Avi having problems? Because he's tumbling down in positions quite a bit. Is he just struggling on those hard tires? Because he is not in it. James Albert basically having a race of his own right now. Even if Scotty Harris pits, he's going to come out just in front of him. Oh, so if the episode's 30 minutes long, I'd watch 4 a day. 4 a day, 4 a day, what? 55 days, 8 weeks. I'll be done in 8 weeks. That's fine. I can do that. I can do 8 weeks. 8 weeks of one stint and then do another 8 weeks to watch them all over again. I can do that. Yeah, and that'll be it. It's done. Oh, probably have to watch it. The theme song will be stuck in my head. So Bob Simbaser now. So, I mean, James Owl, is that enough? James Owl's had a bit of a problem. He's tumbled down to P9, so Avi's back up to P6. So Avi's managed to sort out whatever problem he had. He's managed to get the place back from Argentifa, and Argentifa ignoring yellow flags. What yellow flags? What yellow flags did he ignore? Right, so I'm now going to be bombarded with My Little Pony images every day from big salty seawater. So James Allen now making his recovery drive after that little mishap he had after turn 8. And there's a battle between Rob Silvesa and Speedy, battling up for P9, and Speedy managed to hold it off, but Rob Silvesa's not going to give up. He'll be right at it. That was close. He's really dug in deep there, but it's overshot that corner. speed now. Oh, sliding. Robson Racer could have made a meal of it and took him out, like, but no, Robson Racer's very aware of what's happening with Speedy. Speedy's getting twitchy, so is he losing traction on those tyres? So Speedy's on 17 lap old mediums. Looking for Robson Racer's car, you can see the double degradation levels on those rear tyres. And the front tyres are not looking strong either. I'm expecting Speedy to come into the pits now. Was he going to hold off and see if he can go for another few laps and go for the softs? Let's see. He's moving over, he's going in the pits. He's got a safe buffer though. He's got a safe buffer for to Alstafano, so. And he's stuck on the hard tyres now for 10 laps. Oh, 11 laps. It's touching with Dutch Face's tyres now. They're looking thin. So we are looking at tyres at the moment. Not a lot of battles going on. We've got Johnny Stokes who's close to Moylan, that's about it. And that is JL Lattis now who's overtaken Dutchman Dutchface. Lapped him, should I say. But I'm actually quite interested to see how those tyres are. Right, so here we go. So we're on lap 20, heading into lap 21 of 29. So 9 laps to go for JL Lattis. Dutchman Dutchface. Not to tell you what, Dutchman Dutchface, to take those soft tyres 12 laps is some feat. Well done, Dutchy. He had an unfortunate race. So Alstafano now has just been overtaken by JL Lattis, who's just basically carving through the back markers now, as if like a hot knife. So let's have a little run down on the other surface. So JL Lattis, who's miles ahead right now, he could pit for soft tyres and go for the fastest lap if he really wanted to. DXC Moylan in P2 with Johnny Stokes right behind them. This is going to be a fantastic battle for these two. DRT Licala in fourth with Scotty Harris in fifth. Huge gap between him and DRT. in front of us is it's quite safe for these Scottish drivers. Oh, here we go, Johnny Stokes makes the move on Moylan. This is the battle for championship leader right now between these two. So this is going to be the battle we're going to be focusing on right near the end. But as you can see, Moylan's catching it right back up. He's forcing Johnny Stokes to take the outside line by putting his nose in there. What? See that there is what you show his class as respect, boys and girls. Johnny Stokes, Dixie Moylan, sportsmanship, right there. Another question's just been thrown in at me. Would you rather travel every 2 months to 2 weeks, or never travel again? That's easy. I'll travel 2 weeks for 2 weeks every 2 months. I'm happy to do that. I love to travel. It doesn't matter whether it's locally in the UK or whether it's abroad. I love to see new places. I love to go back to places I've loved before. So, yeah, straightforward that one. But then again, once you've got to travel to loads of places, you're going to be like bored of travelling. But then again, once it becomes part of your life, a routine, it's just part of your life. There we go. Moylan really needs to make an effort now to try and find his way past Johnny Stokes. It's getting really close now. Is he going to make it into this corner? No, so close. He could have broke later, but I think Johnny Stokes would have just let him run it wide and done a switchback. Yeah, but imagine how much constant travel would cost. It gets cheaper and cheaper each time. If you travel a lot, you'll find ways to travel cheap. Each time you go somewhere over and over, you find cheaper ways to get there. And once you make connections and that, then that's it. You're only paying for fuel. So flicking through, see if there's any more battles. So Robson Race is closing in on Al Jazeera. Whether this is going to materialise into a battle near the end, will be great to see. But I think this Johnny Stokes Moylan battle is going to start to stretch up now. Johnny Stokes is starting to open up a bit of a gap. But we do have 6 laps to go. So let's run down the order dead quick. So we got JL Latters in P1, P2 Johnny Stokes, P3 Moylan with that gap getting almost a second wide. So Moylan really needs to use this DRS effectively to close this gap back up again, get himself back in. And he's gone a bit too late, so that means he's opened that door there for does he get a second bite of the cherry? No, he doesn't, but he does get DRS. They kind of match each other pace for pace for most of it, but this is, there we go. This could be it now. Did Moylan stay within DRS? He did indeed. But he's losing that gap more and more as Robson Racer and Al Jazeera are battling out between the two of them. But this is the battle that we've got in front of us now, because Moylan and Johnny Stokes is separated now by 1.3 seconds. That time is not going to go down, and I don't think Moylan's going to be catching up with Johnny Stokes anymore. Without DRS, he's got no chance of those hard tyres. So Scotty Harris has had another bit of a spin. Puts himself down to P6. Needs to work hard now to get himself up there, because Avi's now on P5. I don't think there's going to be a switch back in between them two drivers right now. Unless Avi makes a mistake. DXD Moylan is maintaining that 1.3 gap. Maybe hoping that my Johnny Stokes will get a time penalty. But it seems that Johnny Stokes has kept his nose clean on this circuit. We'll go back to Robson Racing right now. Robson Racing going for the outside line. It was as deep as forced and wide. Oh, Al-Jadipa. Oh, that was cheeky, wasn't it, boys and girls? Al-Jadipa managed to get the RS even though he was in front. Oh, that little switch back and forth to turn one worked really well for Al-Jadipa. But DRS did nothing really for him because Robson Racing is still right behind him. Here we go, DRS is open. And I think he's using his DRS, he's still trying to save it. Coming into that corner. They opted for two different lines. It bewilders me that they've opted for two different lines, but let's see how this goes now. So, Robson Racing now closing into Al-Jadipa. Now he's going to get DRS now. DRS is open. Watching carefully on the minimap. This is actually quite a good battle between these two. It's quite interesting to watch. This is like, I wouldn't call it dirty tactics, but Al-Jadipa knows. Oh, here we go. Late braking from Robson Racing. It's just allowed Al-Jadipa the whole P8. And this is going to go right to the wire with these two drivers, which is what we want to see. We do want to see some action right near the end. And it is basically for the difference of between 2 and 4 points, really. A question I got: would you rather live in the USA or live in Australia? Ooh. I think I'd enjoy the USA more because I like some of like the Texan cultures and all that. You know, like country bars. I would love to experience what a full proper country bar would be like. I think this battle now between Al-Jadipa and Robson Racing is stretching a bit far now, as we are on lap 27 or 29, which means we've got 3 laps to go. Yeah, I think out of all that, I'd rather live in USA, but that one's quite close because they are my top 2, 3 out of my 4 top destinations that I wouldn't move to. So Canada, the USA, Australia and New Zealand, but then USA, there's a lot of gun crime there and I'd rather not be involved in that kind of crap. I've had enough of guns in my life, so there's toss-ups on both sides, but if you're going by where I think I'd enjoy my life more, I think I'd enjoy it in America. Also the total part of America, excuse me. So Robson Racing now very close to Al-Jadipa. It just seems like just before he makes that move, something happens to drop and throw him back in. There we go. We'll see the DRS Open. Right here, I'd follow them. You got Gerald Lattis who's just taking time off every single lap of the fastest lap. Now here we go. This is probably the closest we've seen Robson Mesa in a while. But he's holding off. Is he waiting for that mistake? Because it's the last lap for Gerald Lattis right now, who is just a few corners behind these guys. Oh no! Oh, so that there could be why we may not see the overtake done by Robson Mesa, because that little twitch there has really destroyed his momentum. He had that there. A question I've just got asked was, what's your favourite place you've ever visited outside of the UK? Now that's a tough question. There we go. We knew Gerald Lattis has finished off strong. DXT Moyland just managed to crawl back at. Oh! Oh my goodness! Johnny Stokes is out of fuel, so that's why DXT Moyland managed to make it happen. Oh my goodness! Oh, wow. So, like, I've been focused so much on the Robson Mesa, I didn't even notice the Johnny Stokes stop and losing that gap to Moyland. The Moyland managed to steal second because Johnny Stokes could not manage his fuel. Now, whether Robson Mesa can manage to make this happen before the end, I doubt it. He lost it the last lap. He really did lose it. But Al-Jadifa has got a time penalty, which means that he's gonna get the in front of Al-Jadifa anyway. But it would have been nice for him to get it done on circuit. Answer your question. To answer the question that you put up there, what's your favourite place to visit outside the UK? Visually, there's a place in the Kamchatka Peninsula of Russia, absolutely beautiful. Don't remember the name of the exact place, but it's not peninsula. It's a lovely wooded area, waterfall, beautiful lake at the bottom. Oh, when I say lake, it was a small lake with a stream flowing out, really nice. But let's have a look at these. Right, so Gerald Lattis had a very comfortable win there. The only person that could have battled him basically lost out there and retired in the pits. So second goes to DXT Moyland, which then, with those points, would have bumped him up into the championship leader, with Johnny Stokes sitting, taking P3 with that fuel load, just going away, not able to maintain it. DLT Licala then in fourth. We got Avi in fifth. Sixth, we have Scotty Harris. In seventh, we got DXT James Owl. In eighth, it's Robson Mesa. In ninth, Al-Jadifa. And right off the points is DXT Sasha Speedy. We got our other finishers are Erez and El Stefano. Our non-finishers of the day is Dutchy with Dutch Face, Daniel D, Almighty Evan, GGC, Nellis, and Booker Bronco. Yeah, it's unfortunate that we have lost those drivers in that. Driver of the day, driver's name voted by co-masters is Robson Vaser. But then you can't take away Gerald Lattis made the most of that start, and he led pretty much all the way through. Johnny Stokes would have got it if he stayed in P2 for me, but not managing your field is a schoolboy error. So it's quite tough. It's quite tough to choose which driver. So we'll just round that off there. I'm not going to pick a driver, just give a few notable mentions for the drivers. Guys, it was a pleasure commentating RPR again. Always a close battle throughout the grid. No one ever gets really left behind unless it's mistakes. Like today, a few people dropped down through mistakes or incidents. Guys, thank you very much for whoever's joined me, especially you, Big Salty Seawater, my favourite favourite guy in the chat by far. Yeah, guys, just thanks very much for joining us. If you're watching this back from over, then thanks again for watching us. Just drop a like, a subscribe, just make my numbers look good. But guys, again, I'm happy to join you whenever needed, and if I'm available. So hopefully next week you'll have Hobo and Evo back again to take the reins. You can join Robson Vaser on Friday for TTFL. And if people can join next time, let me know who else I need to put a plug in for. And I will do. Guys, thanks very much for watching. Good night.